Alright, moving right along. Where are we? Citron. I like Citron. I think it will help in critical some other product decisions, but this kind of makes pretty good. What they call tactical is not terribly tactical and all that, but they're slowly learning and making stuff a little better. New things for the year. So last couple of years they've been making this new scope called S5 or SV, depending on how you choose to read it, whether it's a letter V or a Roman numeral 5. And what S5 is a 34 millimeter tube, 10 to 50 magnification scope with a 60 millimeter objective, nice tactile turrets and all that, really target scope. The clever thing about it has this dual clutch side focus, kind of like you see on a lot of spotting scope where you have two knobs, coarse focus and fine focus. So that's how they set this one up, and it focuses down to 10 meters or something like that. And when you really need to adjust focus to a very specific distance, it really it works very, very nicely. And I tested for a while, bit it up, it worked well, stayed alive in all my different rifles. I liked it quite a bit. And the image quality was the best Citron made yet. I mean, in some ways it was competitive with a lot of different March scopes. Maybe not quite as good, but not quite as expensive either. And not cheap, close to $2,000. For this year, they updated it with ED glass. And I think the extra low dispersion glass in the scope is the first for Citron rifle scopes. I could not evaluate it particularly well inside a convention center. I mean, how do you evaluate a 50 power scope, right? But my only real complaint with it in terms of optics was that as magnification went high, you could see some chromatic aberration. And it was especially apparent when I looked at it next, side by side with the Vortex Golden Eagle that I'm looking at. It's a 15 to 60 by 52 scope. That one has ED glass and is cheaper, it's $1,500, and at high magnification in broad daylight, mind you. It was better than the Citron. So it'll be interesting to see it next to the new Citron if I have the opportunity. Some other things, I think they have some changes for their new electronic sights, some stuff for the spotters. I forget, my memory is not what it used to be. Don't quite remember. Oh yeah, so they made a little compact electronic sight with a 6MOA dot that'll fit in the handgun, something like that. Basically, they made this miniature red dot. Okay. When it comes out, I'll look at it. I like those, but beyond that, the big thing for me was the ED glass and a high power S5 scope. In fairness, I mean, I generally like Citron products. They are reasonably well made, reasonably well priced. But the gem of the line for the longest time has been their S3 scopes. They're very good for the money and they track nicely and have good target scopes. Not tactical scopes, but precision scopes in a pinch for not that much money. And S5 continues along those same lines, and I like what I see. I really do. So I'll be looking at that again a little more. Minox. Since they merged with Optronica to become German Sport Optics GSO, I like Minox. I tested one of the ZP scopes. I thought it was excellent. There's a reticle I didn't see much before called MR4. It's sort of a Christmas tree style reticle, which seems to be well engineered. I really need to test the ZP8 at some point. There was nothing really very new with Minox rifle scopes. They had new binocular, which is decent, and a new trail cam. I hadn't really paid attention too much before at the ZX5 rifle scopes, and I looked at them this time since I was waiting for David and Andy, a couple of guys from Optronica guys I've known for years. I finally caught David. Andy avoided me. Smart man. But anyhow, so I looked at ZX5 a little bit. They're pretty good. They're better than I thought they would be. ZE scopes. that Minox has always been quite good, and then made in Germany and all that. Honestly, ZX can probably hang with them or close to it, so that means that for the money, ZX has got to be pretty nice, pretty special in many ways. So that is on my list of scopes to look at. Like I said, I want to look at some less expensive scopes for a little bit. Now, I say that every year, never do it. But this time I might. And ZX is on my list. I want to compare it to some other similarly sized, similarly priced hunting scopes. Alright, that's Minox. Oh yeah, David Sand, if you happen to be watching this video, I'm still thinking about that weird ass radical phenomenon you came up with. I was talking to David and he says, oh yeah, I found this weird phenomenon. I see it in a lot of scopes. Nobody can explain this to me. You want to give it a shot? And he shows me what it is and I haven't the foggiest idea of how this works. That's bothering me, just so that you know. Alright, moving right along. Steiner. I've been, I had a hard time getting a hold of Steiner last couple of months. Sent some emails, called, etc. No good. Turns out the guy I used to deal with at Steiner is no longer with Steiner. They've got some new guys, so I met them, and we'll hopefully establish some lines of communication. Not too many new things. There are some that are of interest to me. So they make the M5, T5, GS3, Night Hunter Yet scopes. They've made them for a while. I like the T5 quite a bit. Now that they worked out their turret issues and all that. So it's a nice scope. Performs well at a good price. I think the price of the T5 makes it difficult for many others to get into the market. T5s and nice scopes. What was interesting for me though, they introduced this P4XI scope, P presumably standing for police, not too long ago. It's fairly light, around I think 14 ounces, 1:4 variable with a 24mm objective. It has that fiber optic illumination, so at 1x the dot is really bright. It's true 1x, the dot is bright, very visible, and the scope is pretty light. Up to now, the market for truly light, low power variables was pretty much, everybody left it to Leupold for some reason. It's nice to see that somebody else is looking at it. So the P4XI is an interesting scope, and I'm gonna get my hands on one and see how it works in a lightweight AR carbine. With their prism sights, the 332 and 536. I think there are some different cosmetics, but what's more important, there are different quick detach mounts. Oh yeah, there we go. So this is the P4XI, it's nice and compact. With the, so there is an interesting new mount for the prism sights, and the mount is made by this German company called Aeratec. Aeratec made an interesting mount I first saw on a Hensoldt with adjustable slope. And this one also looks to be well made, and the mount is a big deal, and I like this mount. Maybe I'll even look at one, I don't know yet. Another new thing, Steiner's looking more and more at red dot sights, and they've got this one called R1X. It's all tactical looking, with buttons on the side and all that. I'm not a huge fan of buttons, so for stuff like this I really prefer the rotary dials, honestly, but it looks bulky, but it's roughly the size of an aim point with some extra cosmetics added to it. And you can buy it with a laser slapped onto the side, so you can use the laser and the red dot and all that sort of jazz. I think they're aiming it more toward police and stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I'll probably take a look at it when the opportunity presents itself. But I don't like too much stuff hanging off of my red dots. I want to look at it, and I want the image to be fairly uncluttered. I don't want to see too much stuff around it, and hanging lasers and plates and buttons and other things on it is not my thing. But the truth is in the pudding, so I'll need to get my hands on one and take a look. It will probably retail in the $500 range, so it goes after the 8-point Trichicon MRO. range, and we'll see. I think that's largely what's new for me. Nox. Oh, I have a new HX or something like that. XH, I think, or something. HX 15 power, 15 to 56 binocular for around $1,200-$1,300. So it'll go up against Miyota and all those guys. That should look good. It looked reasonable, but there is not that much you can do with a 15 power binocular inside the convention center. Right? It's like looking at the 50 power rifle scope. What exactly am I going to look at? Besides, I don't like hand holding optics with that much power. Vista Outdoor. So Vista Outdoor is a new-ish company that owns a few brands here and there. I think they are effectively a spin-off from ATK, who bought up everything. So these are all the brands they own. They own everybody and their grandmother. The ones that are of interest to me are the Bushnell, Blackhawk, Butler Creek. They should be ashamed of themselves. Those caps suck. They should fix them. They own Savage rifles, which is interesting. They own Weaver. They own Tasco. They own Fusion, the Camelback, American Eagle, Alliant Powder, you name it, CCI. They own a bunch of stuff. So it'll be very interesting to see how it pans out with them. They're all sort of converging them, marketing options and stuff into one house. So for me it's interesting because if I want to look at some other things other than just straight rifle scope, I immediately know who to talk to. And a company like Vista now can put a very interesting package deal because they quite literally control everything from ammo to rifle to optics to bipods to drag bags, their own Blackhawk and all that sort of stuff. So maybe as an exercise, I'll get there, borrow a Savage chassis gun from them, slap a Bushnell DMR on it, try it with their new precision ammo, pop it on there, bipod, etc. Basically, it's composed sort of a shooting package out of all the stuff they offer. Use their ammo and see what kind of performance I can get with just going to Vista and getting the whole package from them. Right? And they've got new ammunition that is of any interest to me. It's under their federal brand called Gold Medal Burger. I've had good luck with Burger bullets, so I want to see what they do. And they even have it in 6.5 Grendel, and I shoot a lot of Grendel. So Vista is of interest to me. They have, having everything in house, they have the capability to do a lot of interesting things. And by controlling so many different things, they can potentially offer packages at very attractive prices for the performance you're getting. On the optics side, the things that were of interest to me were the Elite Tactical